Welcome to Berwick Mitsubishi. This afternoon I'm going to take you for a tour around our 2011 Nissan Murano TI luxury wagon. We start at the front of the car and notice that it does have HID headlights, therefore the headlight washers as well, factory fog lights down below, and stunning chrome grille running across the front of the car. Virtually unmarked, the bonnet and the bumper bar. I actually struggle to find a single touch-up on this car. As we come around to the driver's side of the vehicle, just running past the right-hand front guard, little mark there which will probably polish out. 18-inch factory alloy wheels with really good Bridgestone tyres running all round. Coming down the side of the car, Juco presents really well. You wouldn't call this gunmetal grey, but grey in colour. We do have two proximity keys, so we just access the vehicle or lock the vehicle by the touch of a button. As we move down towards the rear of the car, it's just, this whole car presents in stunning condition actually. As we come around to the tailgate, you notice we do have chrome dual exhaust tips. We do have factory tow pack as well. Obviously the tow bar tongue remains inside the car whilst it's on the lot at the dealership. Moving down the passenger side of the car, we'll remove a little lead there. Once again, unscuffed, the left-hand rear alloy, really good tyres. Juco presents spot on. If I wanted to be really particular, a really minor scuff on the left-hand front alloy, but I'm probably going over the top, but it tells you everything about the car. Also important to note, and we'll actually go into it a little bit further when we're on the inside of the car, it does have basically a half panoramic roof, or in actual fact they are two sunroofs, but we will go into that in detail shortly. Alright, so under the bonnet of the car and a little bit to chat about the powertrain. Really lightweight bonnet, a couple of gas struts, just hold it up there out of our way. Powered by a 3.5 litre V6 motor, this car will deliver you 191 kilowatts, 336 newton meters of torque, but at the same time it's going to give you a combined fuel consumption of 10.9 litres per 100 k's. So based on the fact this car actually has an 82 litre fuel tank, you will derive over 750 kilometres to a tank of fuel. So, moving around to the rear of the car again now, the tailgate's actually automatic in the Murano, being the luxury top of the range. So 2 hits on the remote, and away she goes. So it is automatic off the key, control it all off the remote. You will notice as it comes up into the open position, there is also a manual button here. You can just touch on the manual button as well. Will actually serve the same purpose and close the tailgate back down. A few things for us to run through in the back of the car. Obviously does have the cargo blind, so we can just cover up all our goodies inside. If Mark could actually get it into position, but he's a little bit mentally challenged there this afternoon. So we'll go take 2 on that, and brings it all the way to the back edge of the tailgate. So everything inside's covered. You notice just at the front of the cargo blind, we do have these clips, which just takes it all the way to the back of the second row seats, just depending on what position they're in. And the little clips just lock onto the back of the poles where the headrests are. So you can keep everything fairly secure in the back there so nobody can see it. We'll just pop that out and actually do it properly this time. Good work. Now also important to note, we can flip these second row seats down simply by a matter of pulling on the handle just on each side of the car. So you do notice it's dropped that down into the storage position. We'll just move this part of the cargo barrier back up out of our way, and you see it is a completely flush storage area. Another really important thing to note in the Murano, for us to return that part of the seat, the back part of the seat, back to its original position, rather than for me to go to the side door and do it manually, we go back to where the handle was to release. You notice this button at the top, we just hold that button, and of course it's automatically bringing the seat back into the upright position. A lot of thought went into the design of this car, and just to make the functionality really easy. Before we move away from the tailgate area, you notice the chrome scuff plates just to protect the back of the car when we're getting cargo in and out. Also, when we go down into our spare wheel well, have a look at this. Subwoofer sitting in that spare wheel well. Obviously brand new tyre, never been on the car here as well. The subwoofer will go into more detail when we're talking about the sound system when we move inside the car shortly. As I mentioned earlier, two options. You've got your remote to close the tailgate, but we'll go for the opposite function in this instance. Just to touch on that button manually, tailgate does everything for us. You'll notice it'll drop itself into position, and then you will also seal and close. Nice. Okay, so we're moved into the interior of the Murano now, and we're going to have a fair chat about all the features in this car because it's just got everything. We're going to start on the driver's door trim. You notice all of our buttons for our power windows, manual lock, unlock, disable, that'd be the word. Disable the switches on all other windows if required. Do have a function to turn our exterior mirrors inwards. Just when you're in car parks certainly assists. And then our little button to adjust our exterior mirrors left and right. I will just open the door for a minute. You do notice it does have some settings. They're just a preset position settings for the driver's seat. So if you've got yourself and your wife, or yourself and your de facto, or yourself and your girlfriend, you can set seating positions for both. If you're single, just set 2 positions for yourself. We move across into here. There's a few things to take note of. A lot of people are confused thinking that you need to actually pop the key of the Murano into the slot to enable the ignition button. That is not the case. That is storage only. It is still a good place to put the key so you don't forget where you put it. Down below that you'll notice we have a manual button to switch off stability control. We've got our fuel release button there. And these 2 buttons here, as we demonstrated earlier in the video, how we can return the second row seats back to the upright position when we've lowered them down for additional storage. You can also control that from in here at the front of the car. So, you know, as we mentioned, they thought about a lot of stuff when they were designing and manufacturing this car. If you're sitting in the car, it's a rainy day and you've sent the missus in to do the shopping, you can look after her and just hit the button, and we can also just engage the opening of the tailgate from inside the car, and she can pop all the shopping in, which is perfect. It's just simply a matter of hitting it again, and it will certainly close it back down into the closed position. It is important to ensure that she has removed herself from the rear of the car prior to doing that. We also can turn that power door off manually if we require, just simply by that button there on our left. So as I mentioned, it is keyless operation, so we will just adjust our steering wheel, which is obviously height adjustable, and it is electric, and it is also reach adjustable, once again electric as well. I'll just turn our steering wheel for a minute, and you can see that here's your button for start stop. Simply a matter of having your foot depressed on the brake pedal, and it will actually allow you to start the vehicle. Also notice we do have light sensitive headlights, so they will detect darkness as it's approaching at night time, and also rain sensitive wipers. So we'll just bring our steering wheel back up into a comfortable position. Probably get in trouble from the boss later because he's been driving this car and I think I've altered every setting in the car, but for the purposes of what we're showing you, that's really important. Now, when we look at the dashboard, really highly illuminated dashboard. On our right hand side here we have all of our trip computer buttons. As we mentioned in the video, the average fuel consumption, we take the information obviously off the internet, but this just goes to show you how accurate the info for the Murano is, running at exactly what they say this car does as a combined fuel usage, 10.9 litres per 100 k's on average. We can just scroll through, gives us our average economy, speed, range to empty, obviously extremely good range, outside temperature, and you can alter the settings based on how you want them exactly. Trip reset buttons, fairly standard. Then across on our left hand side of the display there, just our illumination for the instruments at night time. We move to the steering wheel now, leather wrapped steering wheel. I haven't mentioned it yet, we'll touch on it again soon, just about the appointments on the interior. All of our cruise control settings on the steering wheel on the right hand side. You notice they're in a really user friendly position as well. Then we move to the left-hand side and we have all our controls. Number one for our Bluetooth. It does have music streaming as well. For the purposes of today, we haven't set that up. And then all of our audio controls as well. So that's quite a fair amount of stuff there. And then now we move into the really exciting area of the car. As you can see at the moment, we've got the screen set on our sat-nav, a really good sat-nav unit. And one thing about this car, a very user-friendly system as well. Basically all of your controls there to set it up. Do not do it when you're in motion. Also, you notice in the Murano, we just pop it into reverse. Have a look at the clarity of that reverse camera. It's fantastic. Gives you a really good idea of what's behind you. And as you see by the comment on screen, yeah, it just creates that safety for you. Pop that back into position, leave it in park. We move down into the audio section now. Obviously, CD player. We do have music streaming, as I mentioned, AM, FM. As we said when we were in the back of the vehicle where the spare wheel well was, does have the subwoofer. It is Bose premium sound, so really good sound system. Just to give you an idea, we'll give you a bit of a demo. And you know, even just listening to that volume and clarity, that was only on half volume. So if you're a bit of a music freak like me, you know, play your favourite music and crank it right up. Now, as we move below all of our audio controls, we move into the climate control, air conditioning and heating system. So we can set our temperature to exactly what we want, and it is dual zone air conditioning. So at the moment, as you see on the bottom of the sat-nav screen, our driver's got his temperature set on 23 degrees Celsius, passenger on 24.5. So you can actually set the car up where you're exactly comfortable. Also, a couple of other important buttons to take note of. This one here is just to turn on the height ambience in your heating and cooling, recirculating button, rear demister and front demister. So you've got both options as well. Right down below that, we'll just focus down into these. We do have front seat heaters for both passenger and driver. You've got two settings as well, high and low. You've also got the option, this car is a constant four-wheel drive, and you can just lock it into that constant if need be. We'll move back now, we'll just pop that back into park. Just a couple of storage areas, a little storage compartment there which has a couple of tissues in it, and a couple of cup holders hidden away. Notice the really nice satin chrome finish running through where the T-bar is as well. Once again, it just screams quality. We have a really large storage area, a small compartment there which you can actually flick up out of the way, and then you have a 12-volt outlet and your other auxiliary outlets there as well. As I mentioned earlier, it is the TI model, so it is the full luxury pack. We've got full leather interior throughout in the car. Every seat is full leather. Notice even on all your door trims, we've got all of our leather infills as well. Leather gear stick, leather steering wheel, so everything about it. They haven't spared a cent when they've produced this car. Also important to note our airbag safety, front, side and curtain airbags in the Murano, so you can rest assured that your occupants are safe. And last but not least, we now move to the top of the car, which we did touch on earlier. We've got a sunglasses holder there, but we've actually got a double sunroof as well. You notice the way they do open. Our covers lock away into position. And I lied, it's just the one big sunroof, but just the way it's designed with the two covers. You notice we do have the bug and wind deflector up the top there as well. And if we don't want that open, once again, it's fully automatic. So as you see it all close, it drops the roof back into position and will throw your covers back out of the way as well. Also, whilst we just focus up in this top region, when it comes to sunshine and things like that, not only have we got our sun visors, we can actually extend them out. So if you're getting a bit of glare through that little area where the rear vision mirror is, you can actually close that off completely. Both the driver and passenger do have vanity mirrors as well, just in case you want to do your makeup. A lot of features in this car. Probably the only thing I did touch on that you can set the driver's seat as far as to positioning. Fully electric, the driver's seat. Every adjustment in it can be just controlled by the side of the seat. So, a lot to like. The car's only done 100,000 kilometres, and it probably come to the really big highlight about this car. It is an ex-company car, which usually as soon as you say that it's an ex-company car, the one thing you get peace of mind out of is you go, you know what, it's going to have really good service history. And this particular car, every 10,000 kilometres, all the way through from brand new, have not missed a service at all. So the maintenance of the car thus far in its life, even though the service books are a little bit annoying with Nissans because there are a number of pages you don't even need to fill out. But as I say, every 10,000 Ks has been serviced, so it's reflected in the outside and the inside of the car. It still presents like brand new. The only other important thing to take note of, this car was first registered on the 12th of December 2011, so it is actually still picking up a bit of new car warranty. So everything about it gives you peace of mind. So, in summary, 2011 Nissan Murano TI luxury wagon. Recapping on a few of the things, and I'm just thinking to myself, there are so many features to recap on. I could talk all night about this car. Basically, from where this vehicle was priced as a recommended retail in 2011, you're effectively paying half price for this car where we've advertised it. So I won't run through all the features again because there's too many to speak about. If you've got any further questions, feel free to give us a call, 9907 0555.